Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you all doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Tonight we have an amazing special guest, don't we?
We do. Golly, tonight's guest, Madame Corvidae, has a list of accomplishments and projects longer than the list of bad choices I made in my 20s. So I am exceptionally excited to dig into the living history and ongoing work of our incredibly accomplished guests tonight. Madame Corvidae, are you here to join us? There we go.
I am. Hello, hello.
Hi. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself for the few folks out there who haven't heard of you yet?
Sure. Hi. My name is
Hi.
Jessica O'Malley Corvidae. Can you hear me? Are we all good?
Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
good.
Okay, great. Okay, sorry. My name is Jessica O'Malley Corvidae, also known as Madame Corvidae, also known as the Vampyre Witch. I am from Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Mobtown Halo in Vampire Community Land. And I am the local village vampire witch around here. I am a priestess of Hecate, and I am the head of House O'Malley and House Omnia Corvus, and a general vampire community organizer.
Awesome. What does it mean to be a vampire witch?
Well, it means a couple things to lots of people. So I'll give you what my definition is. When I started using the Vampyre Witch as a nickname and what I go by on social media, it was literally just because I am a vampire and I am a witch, and I smushed them together into a cute little nickname. But so for those who aren't exactly sure what a vampire is, to make it very, very simple, a vampire is an individual who willfully takes in or feeds on human life force energy. The need or desire to feed on life force energy is kind of the universal trait that everybody agrees upon when it comes to being a vampire. However, for me personally, it's a much bigger thing. It's a lot more to me than just the need to or desire to feed on life force energy. For me, my vampiric nature is about my spiritual nature as well. It's the magical skills that I came naturally equipped with and was inclined to continue to work on throughout my life. It's being connected to chthonic spirits or chthonic realms. It's the natural inclination to emulate vampiric traits in a way that's natural and grounded in reality. I'm not physically immortal or superhuman. Vampires don't believe that. No real vampire is. But I do have natural energy abilities, glamour, charisma, and other things that the archetype of the vampire tends to carry. Most vampire witches have their own version of the same things going on when it comes to their lifelong journey with vampirism. It's a journey of personal transmutation. And you take these natural skills that we're given and we bolster them into beneficial techniques that we can carry and use in our day-to-day lives.
Fascinating. Now, you mentioned that you are very active in the Mobtown Halo, and for folks who are maybe a little less familiar with the regional setup of the vampire community, could you tell us a little bit about the Mid-Atlantic region and the scene there?
Yeah, absolutely. The Mid-Atlantic region, it's small but mighty. There are pockets of vampires all up and down the East Coast. When it comes to the Mid-Atlantic region, we've pretty much got New Jersey, Delaware, DC, and Mobtown or Baltimore. So in New Jersey, we'll start, up north. New Jersey has Iron Garden. I think you both are familiar with Iron Garden. Iron Garden's been going on for a while. They hold court, which is an official event where they create a stage for artists and vampires and authors and just really connecting the community with local creatives of the area and also doing rituals and training and things like that. And I am inspired by what Iron Garden does. So really love what they're doing up there. And then, so that's pretty much what's going on in New Jersey. I think there's a couple other things going on there, but I'm not super familiar with them. So a little farther down, we have Delaware, and my brother in O'Malley, Gabriel Drax, does events at a place called Bar 13 in Delaware. And he and I have spoken about possibly collaborating on some VC events in Delaware. Their events are goth scene related and whatnot, but they are very Nightkind friendly. But we have talked about possibly doing something specifically for the VC in Delaware. So if we have any viewers out there in Delaware, let me know if you want that. And then further south, we have Washington, D.C. And I don't get to DC enough, but I would be remiss not to talk about it for a second. DC has a decent goth scene, but I want to give a shout out specifically to an event called Slings and Arrows. If you're around the DC area, if you Google Slings and Arrows Goth DC, you will find the event. They are doing monthly events, I believe, and they are very... I don't know if they say they're vampire friendly, but there's definitely some vampires that go. So it's definitely one to check out. They have a Fangsmith that is coming out of DC. He goes by Lane Fangs, and you can find his work at deadfangs.com. And then I also kind of want to give a little shout out to DJ Doomsday. I've been watching her go through her journey of becoming a DJ and taking the goth scene out there by storm. So shout out to her for doing the most and doing great out there. And then,
Okay.
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, speaking of events, you have a few events coming up in New Orleans that we will be coming out for.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit about the different events that you have going on?
For sure. Let me do Mobtown's events, and then I'll get into New Orleans.
Of course.
So Mobtown, we have our twice yearly, it's like a goth and vampire picnic. It's more goth adjacent in the spring and then vampire in the fall, but we all kind of mingle together. It's the same crowd each time. But it's an outdoor picnic in a pavilion that is covered. It's a beautiful spot. It's got a fireplace. It's in the middle of the woods. It's in a state park, so it's really beautiful. And we do that twice a year. Our next one is October 4th. It is open to the public and it is family friendly. We have activities. I always like to advertise it as like if it's a low spoons activity. If you're socially awkward, we all are. It doesn't matter. You don't know anybody, it's okay. We're friendly. You don't want to talk to anybody, but you want to be around people. That's also okay because we have art supplies and lots of things to do. So you can choose to be social or not, and everybody gets along and it's fine. So we love having our low impact events. So we have those twice a year, once in May, once in October. And then in August, we have the Mobtown Vampires Town Hall, which is a more intimate gathering of people that are dedicated to the vampire community of the area. And we have dinner, and then we have a keynote discussion, a keynote lecture, a conclave discussion, a little ritual, and then we all have dinner together. So that's on Thursday, August the 13th. And then we also have some smaller things like museum trips, and like we do a lot of wholesome stuff because I am not exactly a club kid anymore. In my later 30s, I don't really get down with the clubs the way I used to. So we do a lot of things like that. And then we have New Orleans.
Yes.
New Orleans is going to be very fun. We have New Orleans. Halloween in New Orleans is always a blast. 10 out of 10 recommend. I will be going down this year with my family, with my O'Malley family and a couple of my Omnia Corvus family members. And we are going to be, first we're hosting a meet and greet on Halloween Day in the early afternoon at Jackson Square because we have so many vampires from the vampire community coming in from all over the country, sometimes even all over the world. So last time I was there, I dedicated like an hour to all of us going to Jackson Square, getting big mass group pictures, and just organizing that experience where we can all converge, hang out, meet, have a meet and greet, and actually have FaceTime with each other at the same time. Because everybody's always running around to different events and things. So it's good to have that one moment where we all know we're going to be in the same spot. So we'll have that. And then we also have the Dark Gift Alliance Ball, which will be Thursday the 29th, I think. I hope I have that date right. But it is the Dark Gift Alliance Ball thrown by the Coven of the Articulate. That would be Listel Dawn and the other members of the Coven of the Articulate. They are members of the vampire community. And the Dark Gift Alliance Ball specifically is thrown by people within the vampire community for people within the vampire community. It's not commercialized. It's not for I'm not going to say it's not for everyone. It is for everyone, but it is very community oriented, and it is also the affordable one to go to. So I suggest everybody support it. It's going to be great. Raven, will you be there this year?
Yes, we
We
have
both will
both
be.
decided we will be coming.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're so excited.
That's super
Yeah.
exciting. Fantastic.
We're looking forward to spending time with you.
Yes, same.
Face-to-face.
I'm so excited. I know, face to face for like more than a couple hours, hopefully. That's the one thing I
Yes.
love about New Orleans is like I usually stay for a full week, and having that experience of being able to wake up and call your friends and be like, hey, I'll meet you here, and do that day in and day out. It gives you a little taste of the nostalgia of the old vampire community that everybody holds on to. A lot of the people up north who were part of the vampire community in the 90s, they lived that. That's what they're nostalgic for, is having, you know, so much community connection that when you're walking up and down the streets, you see your people, you see your vampires, you see the ankhs around people's necks. And the community is not really like that anymore. And I think that's why so many people love to have that experience of Halloween in New Orleans.
Yeah, gosh, I couldn't agree more. You know, there's a lot to be said for the accessibility of the internet and the resources that you can gain, but there's just no comparison to feeling the actual vibes of other vampires in person. You know, sharing in that space is, in my mind, sacred, and what you do is really, really important, in my opinion. Now, you did mention House Omnia Corvus. I would like to hear a lot more about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So House Omnia Corvus. I don't know how many people of the audience that watches the show know what houses are, but for sake of comparison, they're kind of like witch covens. House Omnia Corvus is my house. It houses the Corvidae bloodline, and bloodlines are basically like coven lineages, just for sake of illustration. But it's basically a group of people that take an oath to belong to a collective together. I started House Omnia Corvus unofficially in 2018, and then projected its existence in January 1st, 2019. Basically, it took a while to get our bones and our structure figured out before I put out into the world that we existed. I started House Omnia Corvus after a rough go with the vampire community. When I first got to the vampire community and inserted myself into the community narrative, I was dealt a kind of a shitty hand. The person that I almost ended up with as a sire and a mentor was not good. The first house I was sucked into was kind of shitty. I got bullied by a bunch of elders for a while, and that group of elders even tried to blackball me for speaking out against being bullied for a while. It was a hot mess. It was not a good period of history for the vampire community. I essentially got a crash course in what not to do in the VC. And took those lessons and I carried them forward and set up shop with my own house. I didn't find what I was looking for in the vampire community, and I decided I was going to build it myself then. And I can achieve all things through spite. So, so I took that fire and I started something that I believed in and really felt good about, because I did not feel good about the things that I was experiencing, the things I was seeing in almost all of the houses around me, how I was being treated by the people who were supposed to be guides and elders and mentors. And I wasn't just going to take that. And the type of person that I am, I decided I was going to be what I wanted to find in the VC for others. So I took that inspiration and I created House Omnia Corvus. And Omnia Corvus basically means all raven in Latin, or all corvid. We kind of work with all sorts of corvid spirits, but for the sake of the story, it means all raven. And ravens are messengers of the gods in all sorts of cultures. So we take in the messages that are sent our way, not just the convenient or comfortable ones. We take them all in. We seize all wisdom and heed their messages. We are in touch with the shadows enough to be able to receive all kinds of messages. We are often the harbingers of those kinds of messages, especially hard ones. We are passionate about our pursuit of knowledge, and as harbingers of tough messages, we are sometimes foreboding at times, but we are also a bunch of silly little guys. Like if you've ever seen crows playing in the snow on the roof, or collecting trinkets or whatever, we kind of carry both sides of the energy, the funky little death omen and the trinket silly guys. So what I didn't expect, though, when I started my house, was that I was going to turn around and join another house before I even publicly announced House Omnia Corvus, which made things interesting, but I wouldn't have traded that trajectory for the world. And so while I was starting House Omnia Corvus, I actually joined House O'Malley as well. So that's been an interesting ride.
Gosh, I love that. That in my mind is the real essence and through line of the Nightkind's community in general is being presented with a world that sends pretty consistent messages that it has no place for you, and deciding to build that place for yourself and for family to come. I find that very inspiring, and whether other elders in the community were ready to appreciate that spirit within you or not, I think it is very much the essence of the best of us that you do that. So I want to thank you for being such a builder. We need a lot more of that.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
As I shrivel up because I can't take compliments. Thank you so much.
Well, everything that you're doing is making a huge positive impact. And I think it's so desperately needed when you have all different facets of things being presented. So to have someone who is giving factual, deep insight that comes from a source of truth, and someone who does the research and does the work, it's something that's truly honorable. And we are just so happy that we get to have this connection with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Speaking of the long traditions and history of the vampire community and building, you mentioned House O'Malley. I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit more about the history and ongoing work of House O'Malley.
Absolutely. So House O'Malley is one of the oldest running houses in the VC at this point. House O'Malley, the name and bloodline was consecrated in 1995, and the actual structure of the house came a couple years later. And they were founded the house and the bloodline was founded by Thomas and Stephen O'Malley. So House O'Malley started because Thomas and Stephen O'Malley became protectors in the Gotham Halo. There were the first courts and the first vampire gatherings in the form that we kind of know today, the courts, the houses, etc. And there was some old drama, to put it simply, that people were getting hurt or getting jumped or whatever, and the brothers O'Malley were the ones that would step in and stop it. So because they were kind of like the human shield brute force of the community at the time, they easily transitioned into being official protectors. Stephen O'Malley was one of the first Regent's Guards when I believe it was Delchi was the first regent of the court of Gotham. And Stephen became his personal bodyguard, which then created a group of protectors, and Stephen would move into the first official sheriff of Gotham, the official protector of the whole Halo at one point, and this trajectory of being protectors would follow us until now. So we also, because of the early history of O'Malley, we have a couple firsts. Like I said, he was the first sheriff of Gotham. He was also the first to customize the Legacy Yonks, how a lot of the old bloodlines would take the Legacy Yonk and kind of tweak it and twist it and change the design of the Legacy Yonk, but keep elements of it. We started that trend by adding different stones than the normal. We customized our Legacy Yonk so people would know that we were O'Malley's, we were the protectors, come to us if you need help. So that first initial adding of the beads started the trend of, okay, let's customize our legacy onks so we know what we're connected to, but you can tell which house is ours or who is part of our house because of the design they're wearing. So technically we started that.
Awesome. Gosh.
Yeah. I was very lucky to get picked up after the shitty hand that I was dealt in the community. He kind of watched what was going on and what he being Stefan, sorry. He is my sire. He kind of swooped in and became friends with me after he saw me having a rough go of it. And he did not agree with how his peers were treating me. So he took his time to create a friendship with me, break through the ice that I had cast upon myself because I was not having it for a while, but he was patient with me, and eventually he became my sire in late 2018, and the rest has been history. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made in the VC, was becoming an O'Malley. Stefan O'Malley is the poster sire. I want to say poster child for sires, but he's fantastic. He really is the epitome of taking care of his people, and people in House O'Malley are family, and they are his children, and he truly treats you as his child when he chooses you. And it's been an inspiration to watch how he cares about people, and I try to emulate that to the best of my ability, because I can be a little harsh at times.
Same.
But yeah, it's awesome. I really enjoy being part of House O'Malley, and I really love my own house. And, you know, we've got a great bunch in both. We're all basically one giant family. My house is essentially a descendant of House O'Malley. And when I made my house, I did not anticipate that, 8 years later, I would end up the head of House O'Malley. So we've all kind of morphed into this blob of one giant family at this point. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride, and I am very proud to now be the head of House O'Malley. Stefan, the founder of House O'Malley, has entrusted me with that role, and I hope I do well with it in the coming years. But it's been awesome so far.
Absolutely. Gosh, you are off to a fantastic start, in my opinion.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Now, you have mentioned at your events you make space for folks with different sensory issues, different preferences for relating to others. You make a lot of space for Nightkind's diversity in general, not only at your local events, but also online. I know that House Omnia Corvus is open to not only vampires, but many other forms of Nightkind. I would love to hear your thoughts on the importance of Nightkind's diversity.
Yeah, I personally have not ever, what's the way to put this? For me, it's really not so important how somebody identifies. It's more important the qualities they carry as a person and as a creature of the night. We've all gathered here because the vampire community is the conduit for connection, but specifically being a vampire is not as important to me as it is in maybe some other houses or organizations. In House Omnia Corvus, we have my husband, who is a Wolftherian. One of my members is a vampire and a wolf hybrid, even though we all hate the word hybrid, but that's just all we have for now. But they're a vampire wolf hybrid who was once a donor. So there's also room for exploration as well. 2 other members of my house are vampire and fae. We have all manner of folk, the same spectrum of folk in House O'Malley. We've got wolves, fae, demons. We've got, all sorts of things. It's just, what really matters to me is authenticity and being grounded in what you believe your identity is. Because we all know that there are otherkin who go a little too far with it sometimes, and I do have lines in the sand, but I also do believe that if you come, like I said, I will say it until with every breath in me, authenticity is what matters. And if you come with authenticity, you will be accepted. It's when you start trying to embellish and do too much, and you're doing what you think you need to do to fit in, that's when things start to get weird. but it shouldn't matter your personal identity or your social ability. I am socially awkward as hell. I don't necessarily want to be like, people who know me are going to watch this and be like, that's not true. But I say I don't always want to be the center of attention. I don't always want to be talking to people. Sometimes I want to go to an event and I just want to hang out. And if I'm having a low spoons day, I want to be able to still be around my people and not have a lot of expectations of me. And I know other people feel the same way. The world expects a lot of us. So if we want to go be social, we should be able to do that without having to carry a large social load sometimes. So I try to make sure that our events have, if you want to be social, do that. If you don't, here's a corner, go color. Like, and that's how I've always liked it. I'm the one that's usually coloring in the corner, to be perfectly honest. So yeah.
I love that. So your events create spaces that allow people to be their authentic selves without feeling like they need to fit some folkloric mold, being the
Absolutely.
perfect family. I love that.
Yeah. One of my
I
members in
know a
my
lot of
house actually has a lot of experience with not fitting in any of the circles within the vampire community because she is a vampire that believes in the spiritual side, but also a sangrewar that has med-sang needs, and they all clash with each other. So she's left like, where do I fit? When she's not accepted in any of the spots, but experiences all of the things that they all experience. So that kind of thing has inspired me as well to like, don't be judgmental about somebody's experience. Let them, talk to you about what they're experiencing naturally, and don't force them to fit inside a preconceived box.
Right. Yeah. Our diversity is our strength. It's such a shame when folks feel crowded out of the spaces that were created for folks who were crowded out of other places.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the efforts that you make to you. I've never heard anyone say that you made them feel unwelcome, unless they had it coming, of course. uh, so I really appreciate that as a consummate weirdo myself. I
Right.
certainly.
So,
Absolutely.
speaking of your work, when it comes to different educational resources and websites and where people can learn more about being a vampire or, any of those specific aspects, what places would you recommend they go to?
Well, that's a little bit of a complicated question. There are a few websites. I have a website, there are a couple other websites, but the thing about learning about vampirism is the vampiric current, the vampiric experience is not as well excavated with resources the way witchcraft is, or paranormal things, or there's only a handful of people who have published resources. So that is something I also, speaking of not being able to find things in the community, so I'm doing it myself. I have a website called thenightsidernexus.com. People may have seen my previous website, thevampirecoven.com. All of that information is now on the Nightside Nexus. It is a central hub of information sharing. That website has about 60 blogs on it written by myself and about 5 other members of the Nightside Nexus. That is a great place to look. The unfortunate thing about information sharing in the vampire community is we struggle because those who have held the wisdom in the past have a hard time keeping up with the digital age of our times. Our elders were in this when the internet was in its infancy. So their community did not operate in the capacity that ours does now to handle the widespread nature of the internet's connectivity. Before, vampire culture and connection was kind of passed around like an oral tradition. That oral tradition was then published in a couple books and blogs on the internet, but the training through those materials was still kind of an in-person, person-to-person ordeal. Things were taught through physical proximity to one another. So the rise and fall of the popularity of the VC has caused waves of massive growth. And it is also, with the growth of the internet, the way we consume information has completely changed. So the mass amounts of vampire seekers and mentors that come about, they vastly outnumbered the amount of viable mentors there have been. So there ends up these wide gaps of mentorship, training, and resources needed to offer these fledglings to give them a chance at feeling truly connected. I could rant about this forever. So I figured this all out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Please do rant about it. We would love to hear more.
Okay. I'm like, how much is too much ranting? No. So I figured I found it difficult to find resources. The resources that were available to me, despite my coming to the VC around 10 years ago, I awakened in 2003. And when I awakened, the way you found resources was personally hosted websites, blog websites, web rings, things of that nature. I was just talking to somebody recently about my first website was drinkdeeplyandream.com, which is still up. You can still find that. But as time went on, all of these personally hosted websites fell off due to social media and MySpace, Facebook, things of that nature. I recommend people start blogs again, long form content, write it. That is how I do not know a single vampire who did not learn part of their journey from somebody's blog. And that's why I started mine, is to get back to those roots. Other websites that you can find, oh gosh, I know Project V. I can't remember if it's Project V or projectvampire.com, but if you look up Project V Vampire, you'll find it. I wish I could think of other websites that are good to look for these days. Your best bet, honestly, make friends with the Wayback Machine. If you do not know what the Wayback Machine is, it's internetarchive.com? Question mark? I don't know. But if you look up the Internet Archive, it's something called the Wayback Machine. You can put in websites that are dead and gone. You can find all of Sanguinarius's information. That way you can find old versions of websites. So there are certain house websites that I will go look at their 2002 version rather than their 2026 version and learn from their old history and things like that. Learning and finding resources is a lot like a treasure hunt when it comes to the Wayback Machine, because you only have a handful of books to really choose from. So where should I go from there?
Well, you could write a book.
I could write a book. I know. People have been telling me to write a book for years, and I'm not going to lie, I have enough information written for a book. I just have to format it. So we're working on it, I promise. I swear there have been people that have been like, write a book for like 6 years now. I swear I'm working on it.
Well, when the time comes, come on again. We will promote that book. We will promote the heck out of it.
Absolutely. I will definitely come back when that happens.
Excellent. Well, now you mentioned that there are some generational obstacles to keeping the tradition alive, to keeping the educational, especially the oral traditions of the community alive. So many of the elders and grand elders of our community are now literally elderly and in the process of transitioning where their priorities need to be. I would love to hear your thoughts on the importance of, and what we as slightly younger folks in the community can do to support the elders of the community and do what we can to prevent the loss of such precious wisdom.
Yeah, that's a tough one, a nuanced one, because you have elders who are not so connected to the VC anymore, who are disconnecting and then aging and then passing away, and their connection and their legacy is completely gone. Let's just back up for a second. I'm 35. I'll be 36 this year. My elders are getting older. Their elders are the ones that are unfortunately dying, and we have seen it a few times over. But unfortunately, for some reason, well, not for some reason, vampires just don't like to speak about death. And I don't know if it's the obsession with immortality or the spiritual pursuit to escape the second death or whatever it may be. People don't tend to like to speak about their death. And I think that is a mistake. We have seen that people do not always wait. They don't have the choice to wait until they get old to die. We could all die tomorrow. This is reality. We are mortal. We are not going to live forever. So only a lucky few make it to old age. Don't wait until it's too late to write history. Speak to your elders. If you are lucky enough to be in a house that keeps records and actually does write the history and keeps a log of it, add to it. That is a never-ending job. Think about important things that are happening now and write it down now. I have some show and tell. These are books that I made that are history logs from my own personal history. The first one is from 2023. This one's from 2016 to 2022. They are made on snapfish.com. I am not sponsored, but you should know. But so they're like $20. You can design them yourself, put text and photos and put your own history log in them. And they're only like 20 pages or so. So you can do one for every year or one every couple of years. And then you have these small books. So in 10 years' time, you can extract the important things and put it in a bigger tome. Collect your history. You will be sad in 20 years when it is not collected and it's hard to remember and you're fighting with people to figure out what's what. Do it in the moment. We have watched people pass away and take their legacies with them, and the executors of their story twist the story in their benefit. And when you don't have plans that people know about, there's nothing that can be done about that. So I fully encourage legacy planning. After watching some things happen with other people, that is when my sire and I started buckling down and writing the history of O'Malley. That's ultimately what led Steve to decide to pass on the head of the house role so that people know this is the next step in our legacy before it was too late. So we've been thinking about that and planning that. And we have a public record of our history on nightsidenexus.com. And we are working on a private full history tome that we would like to publish and give to our family. And I recommend everyone do that or something like it.
Absolutely. You know, that in my mind is one of the feasible paths towards immortality. If you really want, if you have built or discovered something that you want to live forever, you've got to safeguard it somehow. You've got to hand it to someone else to carry when you can't anymore. I think a lot of times egos get in the way. I know you mentioned folks want to take someone else's legacy and try to use it as a tool to build their own instead of building something of their own or actually infusing things naturally. I think that does the whole community a disservice. It's I couldn't agree more how important it is that we safeguard these things. You know, our grandelders had to build the identity label, even, you know, the very, very basics. It took a long time. It would be a real shame to have to start from scratch again. I have no doubt we have some Nightkind folks who would reincarnate and do it, but it would be, gosh, it would be so much easier if we could just leave some things behind, a trail.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people get it in their mind that it's someone else is going to do it for them. And that is a trap of a lot of things when it comes to vampire community history collection, or even keeping an organization alive, or keeping a group alive, or keeping any of our collaborative efforts alive, is that the collaboration, somebody always thinks someone else is going to do it. So get that out of your mind. Get involved.
It has to be now.
Yeah, don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until someone's incapacitated or someone's on the way out and suddenly you care about their history. Don't wait.
Right. Absolutely.
So, when you think about the future of Nightkind generations, what is your vision for them?
That's a tough question because my vision changes all the time. I think ultimately I want more peace. I want more collaboration. I want more vampire flavored whimsy. I want to have fun. I want to stop treating vampirism like it's a problem or like it has to be to our detriment, like we have to feel shame or feel bad or it is the worst thing ever to be a vampire. I disagree. I'm sorry for those who feel that way, but I would really love to just be able to have community that works together, does magic together, actually trains together. Because that's, I was talking about resource gaps earlier. I would kill for more in-person training opportunities. I'm trying to build them as well. That's another thing I can't find, so I'm building it myself. Community that does things together. I think that's the underlying ultimate goal, is just collaboration, doing things together, both online and in person. A lot of people treat the online community like it's just this passing thing, but I don't know if people have noticed in 2026, we spend more time online with our friends than we do in person, or at least a lot of us do. So start treating the online community like it is a real community, because it very much is. And it requires effort to keep alive, and it requires archivists and historians and ritualists and administrative assistants. It needs all sorts of help to keep alive, and that's what I hope to see in the future, is more people caring enough to get involved.
Absolutely. I really liked what you said about making more space for whimsy, mirth, lighthearted gatherings, and just a general sense of fellowship that I think is lacking in a lot of organizations that I see. At least their public face is very much night side, which is important, but often out of balance. I know if I focus on nothing but, my communion with those who have risen, uh, dancing under the dark moon and stuff, that can be very empowering, but I will get burnt out after just a month of doing nothing but that. I need a good laugh or three in the midst. I need good company, lighthearted stuff. And I don't see that in a lot of vampire spaces. Now, when we get in person, we're laughing and having a good time. But I think a lot of the online community focuses so much on the archetype and the dark aesthetic, that they get this mindset of darkness that's almost self-victimizing. I've seen in the chat, and I know that you also said that vampirism doesn't have to be. It's a choice to see it through the paradigm of victimhood, or a chakra that just won't cooperate, and so you're stuck with this. It's You could just as easily choose to see it as a gift that can't be taken away from you. A scar is a strong part of you that you have that others don't. Um, I love what you said about focusing on the gifts and the power and the joy of vampirism.
Absolutely. I think we are conditioned, especially when you're younger and you come into the community and you can still be conditioned by others. We are conditioned to believe that if we have fun with our nature, we're faking it. And that is a scar that has been put on vampires since the dawn of the internet. We could get into all sorts of history about the cycles of drama that have occurred and the fights between those who see it as a sickness and those who want to play a little bit more, and the clashes that have occurred against those two sides of the fence. But a lot of that fighting actually got wiped out during the COVID lockdown, surprisingly, but I don't think we've healed as a community from those fights. I think so many of us end up with this thought that like we're going to be seen as role players, the dirty role players, if we enjoy ourselves too much, or if we dress too much the part, or if we like the events too much, people are going to see us as invalid. And I think after a while, I know I had a switch flipped one year where I was just like, fuck that. I'm done with that. Like, I'm done with the shame of other people telling me I'm not valid. I'm going to do what I enjoy. I'm going to lean into the fantasy a little bit. I'm still going to be serious, serious occultist over here, but I can also have fun over here, and they're not going to affect I can be both. You can be both. You can have fun and be joyful and be a serious occultist. It's okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Gosh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Gosh, I had a specific thought in my mind that I wanted to share, and it just evaporated.
Mood.
Yeah. Yeah, so much of the community, I think, goes through a phase of, well, as some of us never make it out of that phase, sadly, but where the identity feels secure if it's something that's been thrust upon us and we're stuck with. And enjoying it, like you said, feels almost like a betrayal of that that identity at some stage. But if we are performing that identity with the expectation of receiving validation from others, I think that's a fool's errand. If we are vampires or witches or Therian or otherkin or mystics, we are going to be seen as invalid and crazy by most people. I would hazard to say a good chunk of people. Um, we have to stop doing that to each other, first of all, I think.
Yeah.
And also just let go of that internalized, stop trying to impress anyone other than your future self.
Absolutely.
I love how you create spaces of joy and invitation and openness that make people feel like they can really explore what they actually are instead of feeling stuck in what they are expected to be. I see that trap ensnare so many in the community and beyond.
I was in it too when I first started. That's why I can speak on it now, is because I've
Yes.
had a couple paradigm shifts that have taken me away from spaces like that. When I first came to the community, I was very much, this is an energy sickness, which I was also, there were life circumstances that were feeding that narrative at the time. And once I got out of those life circumstances, I had the vampiric paradigm shift. Like, no, I was just not taking care of myself. This is not just a sickness. There's all this beauty to it too. I just had to pull myself out of the hole to be able to see that side. And I think a lot of young vampires get into similar traps where it's like they're being beaten down by life. Everything feels like too much, and they feel like they're being depleted of energy. So that whole vampiric sickness thing tracks, but then they don't really explore it or excavate it further. And they just kind of sit and wallow in that vampiric sickness kind of place. And I hope more people can find more positivity out of this experience. And I hope they can also drag themselves out of that hole.
Right. Gosh, I relate really hard to that. I think a lot of, the sense of conflict and drain is there comes a point where we realize that that's a two-way street. If we feel like all of our energy is just draining and disappearing all the time, someone is taking it.
Right.
That's one of the
Or
biggest
you're
lessons
allowing
about
it to be
vampirism.
drained somehow.
Yeah, someone is.
Absolutely.
If we are constantly being invalidated, told that our interests are just fantasy, if our experiences in our own bodies and our own spirituality is constantly just dismissed out of hand, that's exhausting. that
Absolutely.
hurts.
And then it happens in the vampire community, and that's why so many people are like stuck in these boxes, because the same thing happens in our own community.
Yeah, the biases against folks who LARP, like LARPing is fun. Uh, you can
And
be a role player and a vampire. You can be
I,
just a role player and get into do the psychodrama and enter into a different state of mind and explore that. That is an occult practice of an
right.
ancient tradition. The
Mhm.
fact that, there are relatively newer gameplay books that facilitate that doesn't change the fact that it is a powerful psychological and metaphysical practice, or it can be, uh,
Right.
if we stop treating it like it's just a game.
Right. I've never played. I am definitely one of those people that had like, oh no, Vampire the Masquerade, don't go there because you're a real vampire. But I think that might also be a trap, because if you start as a real vampire and you segue into Vampire the Masquerade, you figure out how much vampire culture is based on it.
Right.
And then that's a funny ride too. So vampires out there that are afraid to look at Vampire the Masquerade stuff, go look at it. It's interesting.
I met some of my first vampire connections playing Vampires of the Masquerade.
Nice.
They were authentic vampires playing vampires. It was great. So
I know a few people like that. If I'm not mistaken, old history, Sabretooth started that way, but
Yep.
that's not my history to tell. Actually, it is. You can find it on the Nightside Nexus.
Excellent. Well, would you mind? You have such a long list of projects and events and things coming up. Would you mind running down for us a summary of what you have coming up, just to keep it fresh in our audience's mind?
Absolutely. So, what's first?
Mhm.
In person in Baltimore, if you're around Baltimore, on Thursday, August 13th, we have our Mobtown Vampires Town Hall. If you're local, feel free to come by. You can reach out to me and I'll give you the information for it. We also have, I keep mentioning the Nightside Nexus, which is a private group for people who are members of the vampire community and are dedicated to the vampire community survival, sustainability, or our projects. So you can get an invite if that is you. And you can get an invite from anybody who is a member of the Nightside Nexus, who all three of us on this podcast right now are included there. So feel free to reach out to any of us for an invite. We have online meetings, Zoom meetings in August, the end of August and the end of September. We typically do monthly to every other month. We have a meeting that is a training opportunity. There's a small ritual. There's usually a keynote speaker, and I think they're great meetings. So if you're interested in that, feel free to come through. And then October 4th is our next picnic, which is in Ellicott City, Vampires in the Park. You can find that on the Mobtown Vampires Facebook page. If you just type Mobtown Vampires in the Facebook search, you should be able to find us. And then you can also find out more about me on thevampyrewitch.com. And like I said, all those blogs, nightsidnexus.com. So those are all my things.
We'll also see you in October in New Orleans. We will.
Yes. The Coven of the Articulate, the Dark Gift Alliance Ball, the Thirst. It is 80s themed. I'm excited. I get to wear 80s clothes to a vampire ball. So I'm really excited about that. Listel and the Coven of the Articulate pour their heart and souls into that event. I'm trying to convince them to do like a donation ticket, so people who can't be in New Orleans can be there. They, like I said, they pour their heart and souls into it. It's throwing vampire balls is an expensive endeavor. So if you could support it somehow, I really recommend it. If you can go, you absolutely should. It's a great time. I'll be there. So I'm doing the opening ceremony for the event. I don't think I mentioned that. How could I forget? I am doing the opening ritual, which members of both of my houses will be involved. I also have other people from like the Nightside Nexus, and I'm trying to give as many people who will be there as possible a small role, so it can be like a community to do, and we all do this opening ceremony together. So that should be really cool. I'm excited for that.
I love that. And yet again, you notice a lack of collaboration in the community, so you create opportunities for it.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing book clubs. We're trying to create rituals. I'm doing the same thing in Mobtown. Next year, I'm trying to really focus on the home front. I'm trying to do like energy work workshops. Wow, that's awkward to say. Energy work workshops on the home front in Baltimore. I'm also trying to do more rituals, more collaborative things, more opportunities for people other than just me to step up and host things, especially like our online meetings. People don't realize how much your public speaking nerves kick in on a Zoom meeting. So like I'm trying to give people opportunities to kind of ease their way into doing more things that scare them, because everything we want is on the other side of fear. And when we can get past things that scare us, we grow. So that's the kind of thing I'm trying to offer.
So wise and very true. You gave me an opportunity to be a keynote speaker not too long ago, as a matter of fact.
Which was lovely.
Yes.
And I hope to get you in person when we start doing more of these workshops and stuff in Baltimore. I hope to have you come out and do it.
I can't wait. Yeah. We're on the East Coast. We're not too far.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're up in which city? Well, right now we're in Nevada, but that's where we heal.
I want to come up there and visit you guys. I want to come to Salem.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Would love. There's a lot of fun places that we can go to that maybe not all people go to when you come to visit. So we would love to have you go.
Fun. Yes, that's exciting. I was just telling Hesperus, I was like, one of these days I'm going to write a book. And when I publish that book, I'm going to go on a book tour. And then when I go on that book tour, I'm going to hit all the spots where everybody I love is and expense it. No.
Yes. Well, we can't wait.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being willing to be on the show. And I will be one of the people that come to one of your events and start coloring in a corner.
Yes, I'm telling you, we have a whole painting section. You can make a bracelet. Like do it.
I love, dancing and music and socializing, but there are moments where I'm just like good going into a corner. So I'm excited.
I'll make you an origami flower. So I don't have to make eye contact.
It'd be like that. I have a designated corner in the back by the fireplace, and I bring my watercolor stuff because I think I'm going to have a moment to sit down. It's my emotional support overpacking. I never touch it, but it's there. But yeah, it's super cool. I'm really excited. I would love to have you guys come. We've had people from Jabbar has come, Lord Jabbar from Iron Garden, and his wife have come a couple times. We've had I don't know what her scene name is, unfortunately, but Jade has come down. I think Jade Fenix has come down. Shout out to Jade and shout out to Jabbar and everybody. Hi, friends. Shout out to my husband who's probably watching as well. I had to throw that in. Sorry.
Of course.
Well,
very blessed.
Would you like to join us?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It takes me a second. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
You guys are so interesting. I hope I get to come to some of this stuff sometimes with you guys. That would
do it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna try. I'm trying right now. I just got back from Gettysburg. As I told you guys, I'm going to New Orleans this weekend coming, and then the next one I'm going to Alabama, and I've got some other trips coming up. And I'm honestly I'm a little worn out already. So, but yeah, I do want to get up there later. Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you ever come through Baltimore, shout and give me a shout.
I will. I absolutely will. But I'm coming to visit Raven. I'm coming to visit Raven. We got to spend some time together. Sorry, it's going to have to be at least a couple hours girl time.
It'll be wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
I've been trying to do it. I had surgery and she was sick, and everybody's doing better now. My shoulder's getting better, so I'm good. And
that's good.
And I know I'm going to be up there in, oh my goodness. I know I'll be in New York sometime next year, but I know I will be in Michigan in October, and maybe I'm most likely going to be at MassCon up there too. I don't know which town is that, Raven? MassCon.
Well, last year I think it was in Fairview. I don't know.
I can't remember because there's just too
Yeah.
many. But yeah, I shall be up there sometime this year. I will again. Yeah.
I'd love to go to one of those. I've never been to a Paracon. I would love to go to
my
some of
gosh.
those. I know.
Huh?
Look at everybody like, what? Yeah, I know.
There are so many different fun paranormal events. If you ever want to join and like bring some of what you have to offer, like please let me know.
Get a
and we'll take
booth.
you
Show
to
people who you are. Yes,
I've been
please.
thinking about it. I have to write this damn book. Because I have thought about getting like a vending booth at different things and
Yes.
peddling my wares in a book. And, I could talk about, I have to make a workshop. I have a couple of cult conferences that are like, why don't you write a freaking workshop? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got nothing. You're right.
Well,
Or,
I
you
can't
know-
say anything. I have 3 books in the writing, and I don't have time. I don't have
Or
time.
you could essentially get a group together and do a whole retreat type thing
Yeah.
with
I've
like
thought about
witch
that,
and
too.
vampire stuff.
I'm into that. We should talk. Yes.
Do it when I can come, please. Thank you. Jeez, y'all. I need some. I love doing what I do, but sometimes I need something a little different and all. So yeah, let me go. Let me go. I'll be good.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys, it is an hour and a minute. You guys did really good, but no, it was a great show. I sit in the back and listen and watch and make sure the comments and everything. And I did put this comment up, and I don't know why it's doing the thing where it's not being put up. So I apologize for that. I don't know what
I saw a few of them. A bunch of
Yeah.
them were Steph and my sire, who I brought up, Stephen O'Malley. So hello to him and hello O'Malley's.
I saw Reverend Tempestus, one of our guests from a few weeks ago, was logged in, had some lovely. Yes, hi. She's saying hi.
Yeah. Hey.
Good to see you. And she is in Michigan when you're in town, Gwen.
I know. I have a plan. I'm going to call up. What you doing? Yeah. So, but I've got to get my schedule fixed, and I've got to get through. Come see me. I swear to you, when I get up that way, I'm coming. I'm calling and just making a map of people to go visit. But yeah, right now I got to get through the next 2 weekends because it's going to be, and it's supposed to be. We got lucky when we went to Gettysburg. We get up there and we leave here. It's like 100 degrees. We get up there. It's like 45.
Oh.
That morning, I got out of the car and I thought I was so sleepy that I was just, I don't even know what. And I was like, why am I so cold? And they were like, because it's cold. And I'm like, well, once again, I didn't bring a coat because I thought it would be hot. Yeah. So, but in New Orleans and Alabama, it's going to be hot. So,
it's going to be like soup, the air. Good luck.
Yes. But I already live in South Carolina, so I get
Fair.
it.
Okay.
We're in Alabama every year, and I get that. And I've been to New Orleans for Mardi Gras multiple times. I've been down there. I used to be a paramedic to go down there and help during disasters and stuff. I've been down, but I know it's really hot. But at least I will be in a hotel this year, and then they have good air, or they're giving me a different room because I gotta have air. Be like, look,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So anybody that is watching this, if you are anywhere near New Orleans or anything I go to, as well as everybody on this screen, come visit, say hi. If you come to the event, come and say hi to all of us because we love that.
Yes.
Yes.
We're very approachable.
Yes.
Yes.
And you can't miss me. I'm bright as hell.
Well, this is not the best me, but I do. Well, here, this is a better picture. Here, there you go.
There we go.
I still love that picture. But yeah, I talk to everybody and anybody, and I don't care what you do, what you're into, whatever. It doesn't matter. Honestly, I'm very interested in all that. So I can't wait to get down there. And I know I think there's a panel Father Sebastian's on, and I can't wait to hear that talk. I don't know who else is on it, so hopefully I'm not hurting anybody's feelings. But I can't remember who else on it because it's a lot going
Patty
on.
Negri is also on it.
Oh,
Is she?
excellent.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I'm pretty sure she is. Not 100%, but pretty sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I know there's a Native American panel, and then there's their panel, which I can't remember what they're actually calling it. But it's going to be interesting. So
What event is this?
The New
It's
Orleans
the-
Paracon.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's the weekend. We leave Wednesday, so I'll be home for another day.
Oof.
Well, a day and a half. But yeah, I still haven't washed clothes. Basically, I'm dumping my suitcase and everything I have on in the washer, and it's all coming back out and going back in the suitcase. So
That's kind of going to be us over the next few months.
Yeah.
Like the travel we're doing. So could totally
last year when I was on the road, that's what we did. We'd go by somewhere, or we'd have a hotel that had a laundry, and we'd wash clothes and yeah. So just living out of the suitcase, which is it's fine. I come home, sleep for a day or so, and just chill for a minute, and then get back in the road. It works better because if I'm home very long, then I get kind of like, oh God, I want to go, but it's so hard to get out of here. I do love it. I'm joking. It's hard. Well, you guys, let us get signed off. I'm going to pull myself back and your guest back, and hold on in the background for us, because we always like to talk for just a minute off live. But everybody who's watching, and you guys had a lot of people watching today, because I was looking at it, and so today
Wonderful.
Well. Everybody, thank you. Even if you didn't comment, I see you. So
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. So good show. I'm gonna pop back, and then I'm gonna pop our guest back, and you guys close it out for us.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And as mentioned, next week is Sean Wild.
Yes.
We're very excited to be interviewing him as well. And we are so very, very grateful that we got to do this interview tonight. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your joy, your wisdom, and your vision for the future and for the present. And yes, we're also very much looking forward to having Sean Wild join us next week. He has a book coming out.
Yeah, I believe it's
very
called
soon.
The Living Vampire. Yeah.
Yes, it promises to be incredibly interesting and enlightening. I'm very excited to get my own copy soon.
All right. With that being said, we'll see you all next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday night. Bye.
Bye.